I would like to welcome our speaker for today's session, Mr. Varun Gaur, Associate Vice President at Lumenore, a company which belongs from Michigan and provides a solution and services in IT domain at global level. So, about Mr. Varun, I would like to add that he's very good fit to talk about such eras in this entrepreneurial ecosystem, such as products, leadership, user experience, business processes, business analysis, agile methodologies, and many other, right? So I would like to say behalf of our participants and our team that we are very glad and excited to learn from you about building product design, which is our topic today. Uh, right, Varun? So over to you.
Sure. Thanks for quick intro. I'll just skip my intro now. I'll wait now. I'll just be able to save 2 minutes. So as far the learning is concerned, I also join these sessions so that I can also learn from the people. You may be learning from one person, but I'm more benefited. I'm learning from multiple at the same time. Great. So first of all, thanks for joining this session. Today we'll be talking about what are those attributes we should consider when we are thinking of building a product, right? I started working at Lumenore, which is a Netlink subsidiary now, and we started building this product like 7 years ago. We were a very small team, and we took a very big decision to build this product, BI analytics product in India with our offshore development center in Bhopal. Very far-fetched dream, and today as we are talking, it's helping thousands of customers across the globe. Everything starts with the small, and the more you keep it down to earth, realistic, very process driven, mission driven, and you have customer in your head all the time, that whatever we are building, unless your customer comes to you and says, hey, you solved my problem, that's the day you hit the success with your product. No matter whether you build a product with $1,000 or $1 million or $1 billion, doesn't matter. There are products in the world which are successful, which started with few $1,000s. There are failed products which started with millions of dollars investment, but it still did not work out. Few things we learn always whenever we try to see how to build a product. There are many methodologies which are available. Somebody says build MVP first. Someone says go the backward. There are frameworks. Hire the best product managers. Hire the best technology team. But still, it still remains a mystery or a puzzle to solve. And this puzzle there is no perfect formula to build a better product, but yes, there are right attributes which are very much available. Choose the attributes rightly, which suits your business, ideas, your customer, and obviously the overall ecosystem in which you are existing. You are trying to launch a product. Little bit about me. I started working as a data engineer close to 15 years ago. Always loved the data. I knew the data is the power. With the help of my many lectures which I attended like this, I heard many people, and the SAP CEOs, the one who actually influenced me long back, that how data is going to change the world. And that's when I decided that I will work closely with the data. And as we speak today, whether you are an application guy, whether you are a designer or whatever you are doing, data is your foundation. Without data, you cannot run your show, right? Be it you are building the service-based company, or you are building a product-based company, or trying to do some consulting. Data is the key. Without data, if you are moving forward, stop right now. That's what experts say, and I also advocate the same. Later on, I worked with many business intelligence and analytics startups to learn more and more. And then I joined Netlink, and as I said, I started working with the core team and built this product from the scratch, Lumenore. And I have gained that experience of how what matters basically when you are building a product. And today, as we speak, Lumenore is a BI and analytics platform. It is successfully running the solving many analytics problems. So where do we start when we are building the product? There's a gentleman called Simon Sinek who says, whatever you are doing, have this golden circle in your head, very clearly defined. Why, how, and what. Always start with why. Right? There is a book already written on that. Always start with why. But why are we doing this? Why are we building this product? Like, you want to solve the business problem, you want to solve the social problem, you want to solve the technology problem. That why should be very much clearly defined in just one line. That why am I doing this? Why am I doing this session? So that we can learn about product building process, right? What are the key areas you should focus on building while you are thinking of building the product, right? That's my why I'm talking to you guys today, and why are you listening to me? Then we say how. Once your why is clearly defined on paper and all your team members are on the same page, and that's very important. When you're building the product, ensure that spend weeks and days and hours to ensure that all of your team members, starting from your investors, your founders, your technology team, your every team member is on the same page with this defined why. Why are we doing this, right? It should not be, people should not have the different perspective about why. Everybody should be on the same page, and it should not be by enforcement. It should be with the agreement by discussing and debating and doing some workshop. Why are we doing it, right? The more you clarify why, how, and what in your head within your team, journey will be very smooth, believe me. Every time companies, I'll talk a lot of times about failures, because that's something which we should be afraid of, right? Because when you focus on right things, things work out, right? But when you focus on wrong things, things may not work out well as per the expectation, right? So when you are moving ahead, why, how, and what should be very, very clear. Go and read about it. Understand even this golden circle, how it is defined, right? Why it is defined. So keep drilling into this thought process of why am I building this product, and then how am I building this, and what am I building it. Now let's talk about few key questions. See, technology wise, you may be from the diversified background. Somebody will be solving some water problem, somebody will be solving some AI problem, or the BI problem, or the retail supply chain, right? Technology wise, we are not going to discuss. Process wise, definitely there are various frameworks and processes which you can just find. Whatever you find suitable for your overall product management, you can go with it. But the basic foundation is something which I prefer talking in these sessions, because if that foundation is correctly done, I think technology processes are all good enough. They start giving you the benefits. Then only when you have foundation layer properly laid down. So who is the user? You should start your product journey with who is the user. Who are you building this product for? Is it a teenager age group, or the CXO group of the manufacturing industry, or you are building it for the pharmaceutical industry, right? So you have to first clearly define who is my user, who's going to use my end product, and why it is important, because it has overall impact on the user experience, the features, the type of data it is going to handle, the kind of pricing you are going to set for it, right? The implementation patterns, the easiness and the difficulty levels, everything matters on this basic question of who is the user. I cannot build something for the cosmetic industry with a team which has been building something for the banking industry, because banking applications are different, and cosmetics industries, definitely your user base is going to be the teenage girls and the women of the world. of various geographies. So the user experience, the colors, everything, the all entire placement and the positioning of the product will be different, right? So it's selecting your team members, hiring your marketing team, sales team, everything depends on this one basic question: who is the user? Okay, what are their pains, right? So when you say who is the user, it is not just I just write it on the whiteboard and say, okay, this is my user. No, you have to really empathize with that definition of who is the user. I say, okay, startup is my market, and the people who are trying to build the product are my user for this session. Just the example I'm giving you, right? And until as I empathize and understand your pain points, I will always fail in running this presentation in this session, because I don't understand what you guys are looking for. I'll just simply come and run through the agile methodology, waterfall and lean, and just go away. And you people will be wondering like, okay, these things are very much available. I know it, and I was looking for something basic. So because I did not have connect with you, because I did not understand my user base, and I just came with a PPT and ran through and went away, right? So that way you have to first connect with the user and then define it from the bottom of your head that this is my user base, right? Then only you will be able to understand the pain points of them. That typically, in general, what are the top 5 or top 10 pain points of my users for whom I am trying to build something, right? Technology and everything comes later. What jobs needs to be done? What job needs to be done? Like, if I'm building a product, whether it is going to book a cab, or it is going to deliver the grocery, or it is going to deliver the analytics like Lumenore, or if it is going to help me task management, or the planning, or the compliance, or the legal, security, whatever. What kind of jobs need to be done? Why it is important? Because if you are building something for say like security and compliance, domain in the IT, then you will have to have subject matter experts of that particular vertical, so that they can tell you like how this job is done. I should not do something with the gut feeling. I have to have the SME or the consultant or the advisor of that particular industry who understand this pain point and the user and also the overall industry, so that they can tell me that, okay, this is the optimum workflow to do this job of this particular industry. Otherwise, if I go with my gut, or if I don't belong to that particular industry and trying to my application is trying to do a job, that inexperience will basically show up, obviously, because I never worked in that particular industry. Definitely, I can build a product for an industry for which I'd never worked. Nobody stops me. But never underestimate the power of the SME. Bring the SMEs who can tell you how these jobs and workflows work in this particular domain. Once you understand these jobs, then you should understand how they are done today, right? If you are trying to automate something in maybe supply chain, how they are trying to do it, try to live that with those people, that how that process is executed from end to end, right? When you have that clear-cut perspective, understood, then you will be able to, convert that into a product. Otherwise, unless you go and realize all these things, it will show up in your product that there is a gap. You did not understand this in particularly. Like people are able to do it, when they are not using a product better. So you should build something which is trying to ease up the thing for the user, and that is possible only when you understand the users, when you understand their pains, when you know what kind of jobs to be done using a product, and then how those jobs are done today, manually, people, or some other technology, or some other vendors are there. How is it? Does the customer segment already have a solution to this pain? So whatever problem we are trying to solve with the proposed product, is there a market already existing for that, right? Are there any products already doing this job for them, right? Never feel disheartened if there are 5 or 10 products already doing the job for them, because There's nothing called monopoly in the product world. People go for better products always, and that's why there are a lot of products are being built across the world. Believe me, product building, if you have decided that you want to build a product, it's an opportunity to leave an impact on the world, because product is not for 2 days or 5 days or for an year. It is going to be there forever. With that expectation only, we start building the product, because it is, I always feel that whatever I'm building, it should always go and solve the problem of the users. And when I solve the problem of the users, definitely it is a product which is impacting people's life, right? Recently, one of our client came and he mentioned that in a particular part of the US, how our product is actually running thousands of families, because the factory, the business which is actually looking at that analytics dashboard is able to optimize a lot. And within 1 year, they have been able to reduce their losses by approximately 75%. The losses of that manufacturing plant used to be in millions. Now it is in couple of $1,000, and it will be eliminated, very soon, because they are reducing that number very fast with the help of the analytics we provided with our product. So you never know that the product which you are building, how positively or negatively it is going to impact people, right? So we should always see it from that perspective, that okay, if I'm launching this product, how it is going to impact people's life in various ways. Business, is it going to steal the jobs, or it is going to create jobs, or it is going to save millions, or it is going to save efforts, right? What will be the carbon footprint of my product, how it is going to impact the ecosystem, what will be the social impact of the product on the world. Everything has to be considered and thought through very clearly, right? And then you should put it in your decks or in your presentation, that what are the various impacts. So I typically run a 5 days workshop on thinking product management. I cover those aspects very in a very detailed manner. I'm just touching those points because we have a little time today to discuss. So how do we find our users? Many times products fail because they built something, there was no user for that. Why? Because they did not talk to the user while they were building the product. They thought that I will launch the product and the entire world will run behind my product. I'll become next Microsoft. And this happens. It happens many a times. Many mature and experienced people also do this mistake, because no matter what, you see Google, Microsoft, many big companies also have a list of failed products. Why? They have money, they have technology, they have data, they have people, they have infrastructure. Still, they are failing. Why? Because there are a few gaps which were not filled on time, right? Google Plus failed miserably. Why? Copy of the Facebook, no value add, right? Many things fail because of the oversight, because I believe that users will start running behind my product once I launch it. World will go crazy. They will leave their job and my product will be there in their mind all the time. No, it doesn't happen like that. Identify your community, identify your user base, talk to them when you are using, even if you are building a small module, go and talk to 50 users who may become suppose you are building a product for manufacturing industry. Identify people, right? If you follow product school or some other product-based communities, right? People are saying that build your community first. Go and throw yourself in the community, right? So that you get a feel or you connect with those users who may become your user or customer tomorrow. Not with that greed of earning money from them, but with an interest of understanding everything about their system, about their needs, about their negative and positive sides of their daily life, right? Then only we will be able to put that flavor to that product which will connect with them. Just putting the right user interface, right low pricing doesn't attract people anymore. People have money, they want to spend money if it brings more value to them, right? And for that, you need to get connected with the users. How much will this user segment pay? I'm launching some product and I'm keeping the price very high, which I should not, or I'm keeping the price very low with the assumption that if I just disrupt the market with my pricing, people will go crazy. But believe me, these days, pricing is also a very thorough strategy which you need to think about, right? So there are many pricing strategies which are there in the world. There are advisors available, there are frameworks available, which actually put you on the track of finalizing the pricing, not in a very very short thought process. You have to really understand the market dynamics. You have to also understand your profitability. You have to understand your customers' paying capacity, and overall year, not only month by month, but year on year return on investment from their side, TCO, the total cost of ownership, a lot of things. And when you're launching your product, you have to first focus on the penetration pricing. There's a term called penetration pricing, because you are launching a product and you are penetrating in the market. It should be very balanced. It should be very well defined. It should be very rational based, not just $9.99 per month or $1.11 per month, some crazy numbers. Not like that. It has to have very much rational based planning when you are putting the prices in front of the users. How do we convince this customer segment to buy? What is the average qualification of this customer base? What is my how am I going to tell them that this pricing or this product for this this pricing for this product, or the features of the product, overall package of my offering is much needed by your company or by you, right? What kind of pitch you have to put in place? Believe me, this all is done before you first write first line of your code. Whatever I have just discussed on showing on the screen, it has nothing to do with the technology, architecture, and everything. This all has to be done before you start building your product, right? And more you clarify these things with each other within your team, within your ecosystem, the better the product will be. What is the cost of acquiring customer in this customer segment? There's a term called CAC, the customer acquisition cost. How is it? Is it too high? Is it too low? Right? Because these are the factors which will make your products, which will make or break your products. Because if your customer acquisition cost, suppose if you are building a banking system like Finacle or some other products which are there in the market, customer acquisition cost is very high, right? Or if you are talking about some other segment in manufacturing, processes, customer acquisition cost will be very high. We'll have to hire many big shots from the field of the domain, from the region, who speak the the native language, or some specialist, right? And then you have to build your marketing engine, the sales engine, and then after that you will have. So you have to see all these aspects. Just building the product is just 30 to 40% of the overall product startup. Believe me, product plays only 30 to 40% role in the product startup success. The rest of the things you will know: the pricing, the marketing engine, the sales engine, the customer acquisition, overall events, the community involvement, right? The user experience, the user hyper support model, how quickly you can connect with your users to solve their problem in case they are facing some issues in using your product, right? The quality. So in that way, experts have estimated that 40% is the max. The product engine will play the role. Rest of the things things are done by rest of the remaining engines like sales, marketing, community, and all. How can we solve this problem? Whatever problem we are trying to solve with this, how are we going to solve? Because product is not always the answer. There is a very good strategy thing I was discussing with one expert. Many times, what teams did, they figured out that, there's a very complex business process which definitely needs addressal. And today it is done very, in manual way. There's no sophisticated process defined for it. Many companies came to the market with the mindset of the product, that they will launch a product, but they ended up doing the services first. They first optimized the services process, and then after 5 years, they launched the product. They converted that, because few areas are really complex. If you go to some deeply rooted problems which are there in the market in various domains, you find it that you can just not build the product right away. I mean, upfront, out of the box, that okay, I'll connect some technology here and there, and 1 year I'll just launch a product which will solve your $1 million problems. Many products fail with that kind of aggression also, because you have to go very slow. Because see, we are not here to just launch the product and 6 months we will become the unicorn and good. That is something which is going on, hype creation and everything. Don't get carried away with that. Remain very much down to earth with your product building exercise. Believe me, if you spend 6 months to 2 years time in building and launching a product, aggressively launching the product will actually give you a lot of risk factors, right? The more homework and hard work you put, it shows up. How important is the design for the product which you are building, right? If you are building for the finance domain, finance people are very much, different mindset folks. They don't like very hi-fi and fancy stuff. But if you are building it for a user group of say, like, the students, definitely user experience is going to be a key thing. And the students, like, if you talk about some below 10 years or below 15 years, so your overall design will be impacted. Now, the problem which you are trying to focus, what's the quickest solution to solve that problem, right? Sometimes the entire workflow which you have thought through may not be the right solution. Maybe the quicker solution you should first think, right? Like, take an example of Uber. There was a big problem of booking the taxi. I remember when I used to be in Bangalore, to catch the flight, it used to take long time. You have to book the cab 2 days in advance, 24 hours in advance. And then also there was no assurance that you will get the cab. And they used to charge you, 3,000, 4,000 rupees to drop you one way. Now, Uber and Ola came and they solved this problem with a very quickest solution. That go to the app, put your destination, your source is already detected, cabs are booked. If cabs are around, cab guy comes in few minutes, you just pay them and you go. But believe me, it started happening so simply only when they realized that what is the quickest solution to this problem. They did not try to optimize the existing process. They actually disrupted the market. And market disruption happens only when you focus on what's the quickest solution to solve this giant problem. Because giant problems doesn't require giant solutions, right? You have to focus on the quickest solution, and believe me, your product will be very highly optimized. Don't get disheartened that, oh, it's such a big problem. I'm solving this problem within one screen, one user screen. No, it doesn't matter. Your product doesn't have to have the 5 or 10 or 15 pages, and then only people will love with it, or people will think or connect with the seriousness. No. The best of the best products are just few clicks products, be it Amazon, be it Uber, Ola, or any other product you see. Or even there are many business applications also coming with the very simpler interfaces. Very big organizations also adopted the same way, like Microsoft. Like, they acquired the Skype and they converted it into Teams, and many big products were there of Microsoft, which used to be very mundane and very long to, with the wizards and details. Every product of Microsoft used to look like a business application. But if you see today, they transformed it. And they had to transform it because everybody looks for the quickest solution. Quickest solution, like what am I going to do in this application? Is it my relevant action items are visible on the screen or not? If it is not, people will stop using a product. What is the minimum feature set? To launch your first version of the product, you have to define this very clearly, that this is my minimum feature set, which will actually help and solve the initial set of the business problems for my users. You should not say like, I will launch hundreds of features in one go. Break it into phases, break it into releases, milestones, and then gradually based on the product analytics. We'll talk about what is product analytics. Based on the results which are derived from the product analytics, um, you know, dashboards or reports, then only you should go and see the what is the need to launch a particular feature. Your feature should not be just like, launching all hundreds of features in one go and confusing the user base. How should we prioritize? So we'll come to this in detail. What will people like and dislike? All this is not possible if you are not existing in the user community, if you are not understanding or not following the key users of the industry, like what are the key pain points, and considering all those sentiments and the real data points, you will know what people like or dislike. You can see the example of the other products. You can run the surveys and take the users' feedback if they are using some similar product which you are trying to build. That what are those things, 10 things or top 20 things which people love about that product, or what are and the vice versa, what they don't like about that product. So because they have already experimented it by investing millions of dollars, make use of it, try to connect with those users and see what they're liking and disliking. The last two questions: why do prospects buy from us, and why prospects not buy from us? Why will they buy, and why will they not buy from us? These are some critical questions you need to answer. Now, once you have done this basic stuff, the second thing which you need to do, though it is the first thing, which will automatically fall at the second place, but this is changing the mindset, because people, when they come together, they come from the various backgrounds and they have various different mindsets. We all respect that. Diversity is always respected, but when you are building one team, you have to change your mindset. There are a couple of mindsets which are required, which I have just put on this slide. One is the growth-based mindset, customer-oriented mindset, explorer-oriented, mass learner, storyteller, and innovation and business. Now let's go one by one. Growth-based. If you are funded, or if you are thinking of getting funded, you have to focus on the growth for sure. You cannot just simply go that I'll change the world with this product and I'm not worried about the growth. Let it come on its own. No. If you are in the capital, if you're talking to some capitalists and you want profits out of your product, you have to carry the growth-based mindset. There are growth hackers, growth product managers, practices they follow. Go through that. Everything is available. The beautiful thing in today's world, when we speak, everything is available. All the knowledge, all the experiences people are sharing openly, freely. You just go and take your 1 hour and just search your right attributes on the Google, and you will find the knowledge available on that, right? The only thing which you have to do is how to use this knowledge to build the optimum and highly usable products, right? Second mindset is customer-oriented mindset. As I said, you have to involve with the customers. You have to talk to your customers. You have to run some surveys before you launch a product. And once you launch the product, you take their feedbacks on various modules, features, pricings, overall support system, right? Not only about your product, their existing, whatever products they are using, they should tell you, because I have seen many times like people migrate from big products to Lumenore just because when some products become so big, they somehow start ignoring, small loopholes, and that starts pissing off the people. They believe that, oh, I'm paying millions of dollars, but this one silly thing I'm not able to do with this product. And gradually, you see that one silly thing starts becoming a big bottleneck for them, and they start looking for the replacements. And that happens because these big boys, they stop talking to the customer. Their teams think that, oh, we have become big, now we are good, we are like this only. But if you really want to grow consistently, be on that growth ride, you have to connect with the customers no matter how big you have become. The moment you leave your customers leave you. It's as simple as that. Relationship is very simple. Explorer mindset, keep exploring how it is done, what products are doing, how investments are happening in this particular domain in which you are trying to build your product. mass learner. While you're building a product, you have to talk to technologists, you have to talk to marketing, you have to talk to particular domain experts, SMEs, you have to talk to finance guys, right? You have to be the mass learner. You have to, every day you have to learn some new things, which whatever is required to build that particular product, right? Storyteller mindset. See, what I'm doing from last few 30-40 minutes is I'm just telling you a lot of stories, right? Why? Because I've gained that kind of experience, right? And also, if you see whatever you are building, the overall homework, whatever you do to to build this product, it gives you, while you are learning from the people, you are talking to the customer, they also tell you a lot of stories, and those stories help you to build your own, right? If you talk to any successful product manager or the CEOs who have built the world-changing products, they have a lot of stories to tell. They don't know technology. They may be knowing the technology, but they cannot get stuck with the technology or the business, the processes and all. What they do is they become the storyteller. You talk about Jeff Bezos or the Elon Musk or the anybody you talk, or even if you come down to the Indian ecosystem, there are many fantastic CEOs who are telling you the stories, inspirational stories, right? How and how not to build the products. Innovation mindset, the second last, is also very important. It's not also important, it is actually highly important, because you may be trying to do n number of things, but if you don't grow the culture of innovation in your teams, I think no matter what you are doing, if the overall packaging is not done of your product in a very innovative manner, things might not come as expected, because people love innovation. People get fascinated with innovation. The one thing which is done in 3 clicks, one thing which is done in just 1 click, people love it because it's an innovation. You reduce 2 clicks, it's just an example. Or overall experience of the business you changed. It is not possible without innovation. So you have to grow that culture of innovation. And then only a good product will evolve. And the finally is the business mindset, because if you are building product for B2B, space, then you have to talk to a lot of business people, and they use n number of business terminology which you love or hate, whatever, but you have to learn. So read things about that particular domain where you are trying to launch. Start with minimum. MVP is something which we keep hearing from many people, that what MVP, and people misunderstand a lot of time. So I was listening to Cred guy, this Kunal Shah, and he actually struck that chord very nicely, that people talk about everything these days. There are jargons freely available. You can just pick it and start using it with the very high level of defined knowledge about it in your head. But if you go to the next level, if you try to drill down to that particular jargon, you see crowd is getting minimum. The more double clicks you do on that particular jargon, you will see only elite class, only the people who have actually done the real work on that particular jargon will be left. Rest of the people will start going away because they don't know about those things after a certain level is discussed. So what is a minimum viable product? You will say, okay, the first version is the minimum viable product, or first few features you launch with the minimum viable product. No, minimum viable product should be able to solve at least the business problem, the initial business problem, close the loop of the business problem for the user, right? It should be that much to start with, right? Some people go with the full-fledged products, because they have been into industry and they know what works and what doesn't work. They have done all that initial homework. But if you are venturing out into something new, then MVP is your baby. You have to take care of it. You have to define it very clearly. And how do you reach a stage where you know that this will be in my MVP? First, you do the ideation. So let's talk about it. So that slide is a little bit later. How do we do the ideation, market analysis, and come to the roadmap? So building relationship for building product is very important, because you as an individual may or may not be expert in everything which is required to build the product. You have to socialize with many people. You have to hire many people. And as a startup, why some expert people will hire you, there is a risk involved and all that. So building the relationship helps. There are many platforms. Like today also we are building a relationship. I'm meeting you all first time, many of you, and you are meeting me for the first time. So it's a kind of relationship. Now we'll go and explore about each other, try to connect on the LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and various other places. You will talk about me, I'll talk about this event. That's where this relationship building happens, right? So I'll get the data. If these many startups join in today's session, I think that a startup is very prominent and promising, and we should focus on that. What is happening there? You should go and join that. So building a relationship is not just going and having a coffee, but yeah, it requires a lot of effort. Thanks to the social media platform, that building relationship is not a very big deal if you are very much serious and concerned about it. So build relationship with the design people who know how to design the product, how to market the product. The finance, if you're talking to legal guy, I mean finance guys in terms of investments and all, you get lot of jargons and various other financial processes, you get stuck. Don't try to do everything by your own. Get the people, build a relationship with them, learn from them, and use that mass learner thing which we discussed in the last few slides. Legal, you have to be very cautious with the legal. Many products fail because they ignored the legal side of the product, and they fell into the well of the legal suits on and all that, right? How they copied something which was patented in other products, and it created a big problem for them. So legal, you have to be very thoroughly analyze that what are the legal aspects of my product building exercise which I'm doing. Consult with them that I'm building this product, I'm using some open source technology, I'm using some legacy technology, I'm inheriting something, and I'm partnering with somebody. What are my boundaries and contours when I'm actually doing it legally? Technology, definitely technology is something which is in its full swing these days. Technology has become little easier today as compared to 15-20 years ago, and it has now we have variety of technology. If one thing is not available in one thing, second thing is very much available. Earlier there used to be only handful technologies, and we had to adjust many things people could not do in those days because of the limitation of the technology. But today cloud is free, technology is free, consulting is free. I mean, the initial homework done you can do at zero cost without investing a single penny. When you go to the implementation, yes, you will have to hire professionally and all that, but learning part is the building blocks are can be built very easily and freely. Now, how to plan your MVP? These are few steps. Idea management. First of all, you cannot just simply say, okay, I'll build my product with these 5 features. But how did you arrive to that conclusion that you should build only these 5 features? This question you will be grilled and questioned at each and every stage. Rather, if you are going for funding, somebody will ask you, okay, you came with 5 features. How did you come to this point? That only these 5 features, because see, everybody wants to de-risk their investment, right? Nobody will just simply infuse the money in your ideas. No matter whether you are coming from IIT or MIT or Harvard or wherever, everything involved is, as I said, that many of the big organizations also failed. So people want to de-risk their money, time, and effort. For that, you need to do the idea management, right? How do you do the idea management? So for that, I have a very comprehensive framework which I myself built by learning from many other frameworks. So I can share with you all. So there is a very sophisticated way of doing the idea management. How you should conclude, like if suppose 5 people are sitting, they came up with 40 ideas. That I have this idea, do this idea, I have 5 more ideas. Like, how do you do the idea management? How do you select or deselect the ideas which are healthy, which are unhealthy, which are cost effective, which are not the good candidate for the MVP? Everything. So there is a complete study on the idea management which you need to do. Then once you select your ideas, you have to go to the market with those ideas and see what's happening in the market. As far as these handful ideas which you have shortlisted is concerned, because you have to find the market for those ideas, right? It is not that, oh, this idea is very close to my heart, so I want to launch this product. No, nobody will fund you for that, right? Or maybe nobody will trust you for that. When you go with the data, when you go with the actual data and go and tell them the story that why am I working only on these 5 ideas? Because I have a lot of data. These days, there's a thing called data-driven product management, because framework gives you a way, but data gives you, the crystal clarity that these are the points which help you, shorten your learning and do the right things when you are building the product, right? So that the risk can be minimized. So go and do the market research, competition. Okay? Market research requires a lot of competition analysis, competitor analysis. You see what the other products have patented for. Many times we see, okay, this is very simple, right? It can be done very easy. I can do it. But you don't know when did they research, like what kind of technology or the patented stuff they must be using, right? If I see the world of analytics products, every product has patented many of the things, right? We cannot just pick everything just like that. And then when I see that this particular portion of this product is patented in my competitor's product, then I know the seriousness of it. Then I go through this artifacts on the patent document. Then I understand, the research was done in the MIT. One of our competition product, Tableau, they started doing the technology research long ago, before like a couple of years before they launched the product. And many of the components were already patented when they launched it, right? That basically gives us the clarity on the magnitude of the work these competitor products have put in place, right? It hits us back that you have to be 100 times more serious, because people are not running business just like that. So market research has to be done holistically. It is not just that I go and open the Excel sheet and put 10 different products. These are the features available in that. These are the features not available in that. There's the pricing, there's the customer base, and I'm done. No, that's the MBA project for competitor analysis. The serious competition market analysis is done very differently and holistically. User persona analysis. Now, when I'm building a product and planning to launch, how do I know my user persona? That who are those users and what is their persona, which I should know thoroughly, right? So user persona is basically, somebody wants to ask something. I think somebody's noise is coming.
I don't think so. Somebody ask anything.
Okay, maybe somebody mistakenly unmuted. Can you help muting?
Yeah, I done.
So user persona analysis, like I should know my persona. I should define a resume kind of thing for a virtual user, that this is my user. This is one of my user who is aged about 45 years, who works in a banking and finance industry. And these are the expectations. These are the business problems they have. There's the expectation they have from the product, and number of things you have. So you have to define your template of the personas, various personas, and then align those personas with various modules of your product. That this particular module of my product is concentrating only on persona A and persona B. So it has to be very simple, because these are my majority of the users who will come use and go, right? They are the one who will give me the revenue. Now I go to the administration part of it. Now, what is the user persona of that particular section? It is the IT person who is who typically plays with the administration part of the applications and products, right? So like that, I have to define all my user personas on the wall, and we should all daily look at it and thoroughly understand it, that this is my persona. This is the section of the product which is going to be used by them, right? User journeys. Based on persona analysis, you will go for the user journey, like how complicated my user journey is, right? If you see the Uber application, how simple the user journey is. There's no complexity as compared to the earlier process. Within seconds, maximum 30 seconds to 1 minute, you can book your cab, relax and sit back and continue watching your movie, right? Whatever you're doing. So user journeys matter a lot for launching successful products. Because if you're complicating things and solving $1 billion problem or $1 million problem, I mean, I don't know how do you find the balance. But people always look for simplified user journeys like WhatsApp, Facebook, Amazon, Uber. All these are the examples of user journeys. Feature prioritization, as I earlier discussed about it, you have to prioritize your features. Not everything should be launched. You have to divide it in the phased manner, but trying to address the larger business user groups in MVP. That if I'm launching the MVP, if my total market size is say like if you just put it on example, I mean for the example, if you put it like 1,000 users are there available in the market for this particular product, then MVP should not go below 500. You should not launch the MVP just for 50 or 100 people. No, if your market size is 1,000 users, you should at least go for 500 plus users needs, that your MVP gets launched and it is addressing at least 500, 50% of the market. And then you can slowly launch more and more features and cover the entire market, right? That way you should plan your MVP. It should not be very minimal, that it doesn't do anything. It is just having the login page and home page and a couple of clicks here and there. I don't know what silly problem it is trying to solve. That's not MVP. As I said, it should close the loop of the user need, right? Feedback. Go and talk to your users, take their feedback when you launch your MVP, right? Build, measure, learn. That's 3-step process for building the MVP. And learning cannot happen if you don't look at your users, I would like to talk about idea management a little bit. How do we basically do idea management? So draft all the ideas, collaborate on the ideas democratically, listen to everybody's ideas, socialize with them, research on user needs, introspection on the idea. Not all the ideas need to be considered, and you are not alone in the ideation. Very important thing, when I'm ideating with you or somebody else, is you should not believe that I'm the only one who's trying to solve this idea. The moment you get into that particular domain and Google about it, that okay, how many products are there which are trying to solve this problem, you'll find many products are already there, right? And thanks to this startup ecosystem like Headstart and some other which are trying to connect and collaborate with people and trying to share the knowledge and experiences with them so that they can build better products. So many people are doing the idea. People who have already launched the startup, people who are thinking of launching the startup, and people who are pursuing their job and trying to launch their startup in coming years. Everybody is ideating, and there's no limitation of the ideas. If I go and simply say, okay, I have an idea, I can automate this process. People will say, okay, fine, what's next? So until you do the idea management holistically, the depth of your idea will not show up when you talk to the people. Because people need people in the sense that if you are looking for a co-founder or the technology team or the sales marketing team or investors, everybody needs the in-depth knowledge and the depth in your overall storytelling, that how deeply rooted you are with your thoughts, or how well prepared you are to launch this product, to startup, or whatever you are doing, right? Seriousness is the key, and that comes only when you do the management of all these things, whether it is idea or market research or user persona. Everything will be asked, everything will be discussed when you go to the market, go and talk to the customers or investors or hire people or try to grow your product. Everything will be discussed. People will ask legal questions, people will ask finance questions, people will try to see, okay, I think you launch a product, but you did not think about the security aspects of the IT industry. Or people will think, okay, I think you launched a product, but you did not think about the GDPR and the HIPAA compliance if you are trying to go and get into the healthcare domain or the European region, right? This all comes when you thoroughly plan things, manage things, right? That's all I'm trying to say. Same goes with the market research. Look for the existing options, that whatever product you are trying to build, what is the existing option? How people are trying to make life simpler, because you are not the one who is thinking about it. The business is going on already. How is it going on? Is it helping? Is it with the products, or is it with the consulting services, or just like that? Are you the follower or the disruptor? With your idea, when you go to the market, you know whether your idea is actually the niche idea that nobody has ever done. Because yes, it happens. Many products which have disrupted the market, right? Even in the analytics industry or the retail industry, supply chain, manufacturing, healthcare, people have been disrupting. And every now and then some disruption happens, right? So look for it. Your idea may be a disruptor, but that you will know only when you do the thorough market research. Go in detailing of the existing solutions. How likely your users are going to buy your products or not buy your products, right? Talk to humans, socialize. Never think that if I socialize, if I open up about my idea, it will be stolen. No, never do that. It has both the aspects. If you take this one, you will never be able to launch your product, a better product. Because when you talk, when you socialize with the people, it happens that they also respond to it. And they give you the another aspect, another perspective to it. And you say, okay, fine, I never thought about it. Can we talk more about it? So more you social, but yeah, socialize with the right mindset people. Don't socialize with everybody, but socialize with the uh, you know with all the generalists. So there is a saying that build with the generalist and grow with the specialist. That always build your product with the generalist who can give you the general ideas about that process, who know about that particular industry. Definitely, people cannot give you the ideas for the healthcare industry just like that, until like they belong there. But go and socialize, and then evolve your ideas. Look for patents, as I said. Find the product market fit. That's very important. This is a term called PMF, product market fit. That whatever you are building, how is it going to fit in the market? Market is already there. Life is easy for you because market is already there. You can simply say that, okay, I'm launching a product for better product management, or better startup management, or better hospital management, right? Or something else. There's a market. But if there is no market in the sense, there's no market fit for that. Maybe you are going as a disruptor and you are trying to create your own market. That may also be possible. But let's see how it goes when you actually build your product. This is one template like this. I have many templates. I'll just share my email ID in case you want. I can share this many templates, product management templates with you. This is one persona template, how personas are defined. It's a dummy one, how you basically look at it. User journey template. This is one simple user journey, which basically talks about various users, like, from edit menu to this is one of this sample restaurant application template from product school, which I have downloaded. From the edit menu to this particular section, restaurant owner, then from here to here, customer, and from here to here, delivery driver will basically be interacting with these sections. So based on these various sections, you will be able to understand how complicated and how simple it has to be, the kind of terminology you will use, the kind of user experience you will incorporate. Everything matters. So this is how you put a user journey template to come up with the right and optimum experience of the application. There are many frameworks which are available in the market. One is the Moscow, which I'm talking right now on the screen, that feature prioritization, how it is done. This is a template which is done in a very simple manner, like must have features, should have features, could have features, and won't have features. Sit with your team and define it. Fill this template on the canvas or maybe on the whiteboard. What are my must have, should have, could have, and won't have features, right? Feedback and surveys is very important, because the more you talk to the users, 100 times I keep telling startups and people who are building the product, talk to the users, run the surveys and you can run it in a very cost-effective manner. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of rupees for that. Run beta programs before launch, because when you have completed your MVP development, give it to the beta users. They will tell you how's the experience. You will be able to improvise before you do the grand launch of a product, right? Do the surveys. Google Forms, Survey Monkeys, all the free utilities are available, and you can simply do the surveys. Talk to the users through all the mediums, direct, indirect, online, offline. Run the analytics on survey data. Stay close to your customers always. Don't try to act like a user without talking to them. Many times we believe that users will be thinking like this. No, never do that. Even if you are the user of that particular area, don't try to build the product with that experience. Just this is one framework which Amazon follows. This is called working backward method, where they start from the backward. Like if you have a product idea or if you want to launch a product, write a paper on that, release note basically, a release paper. So start with the customer and draft the press release that this is how I'm going to launch my product. This is how my product is going to look like. To reach that stage, you have to do a lot of homework. You cannot just simply write a press release just like that, right? You will have to go through that journey in your head on paper in meeting rooms without writing a single line of code or doing some product manufacturing process if you are a non-IT product company. So you will have to do a lot of dry runs. And when you do the dry runs, automatically that analysis phase, analysis process kicks off. You start working on that. So you come to those conclusions and pointers, which are critical for your product, right? Evaluate opportunity. It is compelling enough. Should we build it or not? Discover solutions and get stakeholders' approval. Build the high-level roadmap and identify themes. Create the backlog and the assign tasks. So this is the process Amazon most of the time follows. It's called working backward methods. And then they launch the product. Design thinking is also one thing which you must consider when you are building the product. It has 5 phases: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. A quick time check. Headstart team, can we have some 10-15 minutes more, or we have?
Yes, we have till 5:30.
Okay, fine, good enough. So design thinking is a basically a methodology which covers almost all, prominently all the aspects of building product. It starts with empathize. What is empathize? So empathize is primarily defined with so when you are building when we started this session, I spoke about users. Who's the user? So knowing the user is also considered as empathizing the user. You automatically empathize with them because you are trying to understand their pains. You are trying to understand their entire ecosystem, where they exist, which demography they are into, which culture they are into, what language they speak, what business they do, what age group they are into, right? Everything. And when you see it holistically, you automatically empathize with them because you start impersonating them. Because my user is a teenage girl, or my user is a banking industry people who are basically doing the accountings primarily. Like that, when you know more about them, you empathize with them. You understand their sentiment, that what their emotional levels are when they are carrying out their job, executing their task, right? And it is very important because that defines the overall user experience you build for your product, right? So when you empathize, then you define that for this particular user, I am fully empathizing with their pain points, what I'm going to do for them, what problem I'm basically trying to solve. So define that problem, right? When you define it, then you ideate. Idea management, remember, a couple of slides back, we discussed about it. So when you have defined the problem, then you do the idea management to do the ideation exercise. Once you have shortlisted idea for this user, for these defined problems, for these many ideas, this is the prototype. Considering all these aspects, I'll build the low fidelity, wireframes kind of stuff. And then I'll try to dry run with the users that this is what I'm trying to do with my product. Does it make sense to you? Take their feedback. And then go back. If you find the good results of this exercise, then you can give this backlog to your product team to build it. So this is very interesting and very successfully followed methodology of design thinking. There are lot many books which are written. There are sessions, hours and hours of workshop people do on design thinking. We have also done it some time back. It's very interesting to read and learn about design thinking. The metrics to measure. The product analytics I was talking about, right? So there are tools like Mixpanel or some other products which some people build it, in-house, where they build the system to measure the things, how people are interacting with your product, how users are using your product, right? Because see, there are two things. I build my product with certain intentions, certain expectations, and few intentions. Is it being used the same way I thought it will be used? How will I know? I will know only with the product analytics data that my product will generate when users are actually coming and using it. Then I will know how my user journeys are being consumed. Are they facing some issues? Are they consuming all the features in that particular user journey? What features are being used? What features are not being used, right? Everything matters. Every click. Why people are coming to only 5th step and not moving to the 7th step? Are there any technological problems in my product? User experience problem, or some color coding problem, or the messaging problem? Why people are not moving to this particular direction? Should I discard this feature if people are not liking it? Why should I keep the burden of it? Because we are in the cloud. Everything is priced when we are running it, right? So can I replace this feature and build something else? All these metrics, there are complete list of metrics available, but all that matters only one metric, only after one matrix. That is how many users. That is the first thing which you should focus on. That how many users are using my product on regular basis. What is my monthly growth? What is my quarterly and yearly growth of number of users, right? The first thing you should focus on is on my overall number of users. If they are growing, then only rest of the analytics will follow. Very important slide for product builders. Build versus buy. So we are sitting in the product economy, right? What is the product economy? There are so many products which are out there in the market, which help you to build your products. So suppose if you are building a product for certain industry and you want to integrate a payment method, you want to have the payment method, you will not build it. There are n number of payment gateways which are available, right? You could talk about ChargeBee, you talk about Razorpay. Recently, they have been evaluated billion unicorn. So there are so many, payment gateway applications are available. Or if you talk about visualization, if you are building an analytics platform like Lumenore, which I come from. Now, Lumenore is a data visualization platform where you can bring your data and see your visualization. Now, if you want to build it and you want to launch it, say like in 6 months, you cannot start building the charting library or the data visualization library. You will have to acquire it, and these are available in the market, or the database, or anything, whatever you feel like. So always sit with your team and do the build versus buy analysis. Why? Because your technology team is like, these people are very much enthusiastic, tech enthusiastic. They start building everything. You just give them anything. If you just ask them to build something, they will consider every component to be built. That is not right for the startups, because if you pay $100, you will get these components, just like that. Because the other companies which are building these $100 components for other products to build, they have put all their experience and market research, everything into it. And then also they have spoken to many users. Whatever we are discussing, they have already done it. That's why they are successful. Use their experience by paying $100, because you will never be able to build that component in $100. You will have to pay a lot more than that, right? So that's why build versus buy is very important for budding startups, because it gives you a way to quickly launch your products, quickly validate your ideas, evaluate your ideas, right? Otherwise, if you start building everything, over the period of time, you will become a company that is building everything and managing everything, and you will get stuck in your operations, managing stuff, managing people, and you will get lost. Your focus will be gone. That's why build versus buy is very important. Whenever you are building something new, see how many reusable components I can utilize from the market by paying some charges, and that's not a problem. Very big companies are also doing that, and these products which are there out there in the market, they have also launched their components just with the same thought process, that they can bring the entire expertise and the depth of the market in their component. All you need to do is just pay them the subscription fee and use it, and not build everything. Yes, what you should build, where your core engine exists. So suppose if I'm building an AI application, an AI product for some particular business problem, my entire effort should go in building and empowering that particular engine. All my investment time and thought process should go into that. And if I have to just visualize that data, to show it to the user in the form of graphs and chart, just download some free component or subscribe to some professional library and get the license, and just render your data in that. I mean, that's how you should do it. Your core team should focus only in solving the core business problem. Product analysis and analytics, which I already discussed, where we see how my product is being used, how my various metrics and KPIs are doing. There are products available in the market like Mixpanel and some other tools, which just get embedded with your APIs and products, and they start giving you the answers to your various KPIs, like how users are using it, where people are not going on, what features you should build, what they are missing. A lot of things related to sales, revenue, new users, page views, adoption mix, everything. So that's very important. And as I said, you should focus only on the core, because product analytics is something which you anyways will pay a few $100s and you will get it done. But if you start building this analytics system as well, you will get carried away. Most of your investment, most of your fuel will be burned in building, supporting product, ecosystem. And then overall, you will have to manage the people, you have to grow them, increase their salary time to time, and then your focus will be diverted. Hyper support mechanism, there are few pointers which I have noted down for the sort of like where you should focus for hyper support mechanism, like user delight for user onboarding. When user is onboarding, that's one experience. When user wants no nonsense work, they just want to onboard very smoothly. And believe me, in itself, it's a very big problem, which many products are solving. Product adoption, customer retention, hundreds of users are coming, but how to retain them? What kind of systems I should put in place? How frequently I should communicate with them? What are the methods I should connect with them? What are the policies I should be having in place to have the customer retention? Account expansion, in-app communications, self-service based modules, how engagement layer should behave. There are customer success teams. There are many other things which are required a detailed discussion. These in itself are these are very, very big subject areas to be discussed. I've just put it for your reference. You can simply go and know more about it, how these things are done. Now, a few takeaways before we wrap up and go for Q&A. Use product management tools. There are plenty of product management tools which are available in the market, right? Not product management tools and productivity tools, both. Any tool which makes your life easy while you're building the product, use it. Don't refrain from that, because there's a lot of information. There are a lot of workflows. There are many people involved in building the product, and you cannot just simply use Excel or Word or PowerPoint and make it happen. No, gone are the days. You have to be in a very highly collaborated environment, and for that you need sophisticated product tools, product management tools, productivity tools, I mean to say. Next learning is leverage the power of analytics. Because analytics is very close to my heart, because Lumenore is an analytics platform. So utilize the data and try to visualize it. Visualize as much data as possible, because that gives you the insights nothing else can give you, right? Use PM frameworks. There are plenty of product management frameworks, whatever suits your business model, your overall culture of your startup. Use that. There's no enforcement of it. It's very simple actually. If you just simply go and try to find some product management frameworks. I also have a lot of collateral. If somebody wants, we can share that with them. But it is very, it's a commodity. You can simply go and read about it, create a culture around these frameworks, and make your life easy. I have a lot of, like, with my, while I'm working on these things, I have collected a lot of material on the product management, and which will help you people in building your products in various ways. You can simply mail me, or maybe the Mukesh, or the organizers of this event. They can route this request to me. But in case you want, you can simply mail me and get these templates. This help a lot. So this is it, and now we are open for the questions. Let's take up the questions.
Okay, so here I would like to address all the participants to put their questions and queries in front of the speaker today.
So one question is in the chat. A couple of questions have come here. So are there any frameworks available to do these assessments? So templates are the way to go. Just don't look for the frameworks. Whenever you are doing the assessment, go for the assessment template search. And there will be many. I have many, as I said. So it's freely available. Just be part of these product management communities, like Product School, Product Folks, and Headstart and all. You will be able to get these assessment questionnaires or templates very easy. Just look for the right thing on the Google. It is all part of the product management design. Okay, some tools and
Seems like audience has not that much doubts, as you have briefed and enlightened on such a nice way. So I would like to add something to participants who are joining, who have joined from Indore region or MP region, who may attending this session right now. They can reach out to Varun directly post this program, as he comes from the Bhopal ecosystem and have been actively contributing to this startup build-up community and ecosystem. So first of all, I would like to thank you so much, Varun, for such a wonderful session and enlighten us as regarding such important and feasible factors for building a product design. Like, such as I also used to make notes on few factors you briefed about. Feels so encouraging that I can also start with something if I'll, take retirement from the job and all. So actually, such a nice topics like necessary segments for entrepreneur mindset, briefing and planning on MVP, building a relationship via such segments, right? Also, you have showed how research is so important to start with a move ahead in any concepts. Even the risk can be also taken after a good research. So importance of data driven process to building the good market fit product is a good process to be followed, I would say. So here we have learned a lot from you in this session. We have something in chat. Okay, how important is POC here? Varun, over to you.
So definitely proof of concepts are running the show, because you cannot simply launch in one shot. POCs are the way. POCs are the way to go, because it gives you, it helps you validate your architecture, your design, or your workflow, whatever you're trying to solve, right? And every product, POC is the key wherever you go. POCs are done at first place, and when we, so in terms of understanding what proof of concept. So concept is something which I'm thinking, which I'm conceptualizing, right? Something I'm conceptualizing. How does it come into reality, right? I design the wireframes. Then people say, okay, fine. Can you show me something more about it? How technically it will work? For that, you take some time and funds and efforts, and you put your MVP, POC for a few weeks. You run your POC for a few weeks, and then show them. The benefit of doing serious POCs is that most of the time, if your POC is done right, it gets consumed into your real product. But if it fails, it's a successful failure, I would say, because it gave you a lot of learning what not to do, right? So POCs are very critical and very important for the success of your product. Keep doing that.
Right, actually right. So thank you so much, Varun, and we will like to have you in future to be with us in future opportunities to work with you. And I would like to address all the startups and innovators over here who has joined us in this session. Be in touch with our mentors, get connected with them, and put your questions, queries, and try to leverage as much as knowledge from this ocean and from this mentor pool you can grab. So, right? So, thank you so much, Varun. Thank you for the wonderful session. Thank you, all of you.